Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're embarking on a fascinating, provocative, and honestly wildly entertaining deep dive into the journey of Samay Raina. He's really one of India's most unconventional comedians.
Absolutely. And our mission today, I think, is to unpack the journey of this performer who really lives on the edge. We're tracing his rapid rise from, viral YouTube sensation to a comedic voice celebrated for pushing boundaries.
And it's more than just comedy, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. It's also a deep dive into controversy, creativity, and the complexities of making people laugh in a world that often seems, well, quick to take offense. We'll explore how Samay's bold experiments in humor earned him both, adoration and quite a bit of outrage.
Exactly. We're going to explore the themes that really resonate with his huge audience and, importantly, take you behind the scenes of that pivotal 2025 controversy. I mean, that really threatened to derail his entire career.
It really did.
So whether you consider yourself a comedy aficionado, maybe you're a fan of Somay's, let's say, unapologetic style, or perhaps you're just intrigued by how internet culture shapes the careers of modern entertainers, stick around.
Yeah, this is going to be an unfiltered look at where humor meets humanity.
And truly nothing is off limits here.
Okay, so to really get this, you kind of have to go back.
Right.
Yeah.
To understand his ascent, we need to look back to his, well, unlikely beginnings, far from the spotlight.
Yeah, his journey didn't start on some grand stage, but in the corridors of an engineering college in Pune, a path Samay himself famously called a waste of time.
Yeah. But what's surprising, maybe, is learning that his comedic journey began with a really personal foundation.
And that's what's really insightful here, how his early life, marked by displacement, really shaped his path. Born in 97, a Kashmiri Pandit family from Jammu, displaced by insurgency. That sense of dislocation, combined with him being, as he said, introverted, it profoundly shaped him. He found humor, specifically retelling jokes from TV shows, joke books, became like a literal tool for making friends.
A tool for making friends and gaining respect. It's almost like a survival mechanism, isn't it?
It really seems like it, yeah.
So how did that translate then? When he finally stepped onto an open mic stage, I mean, going from using jokes with friends to facing strangers.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big leap.
It was a huge leap. August 27, 2017, that's when he took that first step. And those initial performances, they were described as raw, unfiltered, marked by this really striking vulnerability. He'd openly share struggles with social anxiety, personal insecurities.
Right.
But even then, even in those early stages, his material showed this penchant for pushing boundaries. He got a reputation for taking a punch at the authorities and used self-deprecating humor about his Kashmiri heritage, including that stupid joke, as he called it, I'm Kashmiri, and people think Kashmiris get high, but we don't get high, we get stoned.
Right, that one.
Yeah. He was determined, though. Performing at, like, a Hindu wedding bidai ceremony.
Wow, really?
Yeah, that farewell ritual, riding his scooter to gigs, just, hustling.
That determination clearly paid off, that local recognition. It turned into a national opportunity pretty quickly, didn't it?
Yeah.
How did he make that jump?
Well, it was actually on the suggestion of another comedian, Akash Gupta. He suggested Samay audition for Amazon Prime Video's stand-up competition, Comicstaan Season 2.
Okay.
And his audition tape, interestingly, it centered on his social anxiety. That really resonated, captivated the judges, and got him a spot.
And he just seemed to thrive in that environment, didn't he? It feels like that's where he really found his groove.
He absolutely did. Throughout Comicstaan 2, he impressed everyone. Originality, quick wit, versatility. He was switching between observational stuff, character work, even musical comedy.
I remember that.
Yeah, there was that notable performance, the story about creating a fake online profile to prank a friend. Samay himself said the show helped him discover a different personality hiding under here.
And the journey ended with him being crowned joint winner, right? With Akash Gupta.
Exactly. So that victory, it really cemented his status as this promising new voice, and it gave him the national platform for what came next, which was, well, explosive.
Yeah, and right from the start, his style was edgy, no holds barred. Not afraid of dark humor and abusive language, as sources put it.
That became his signature pretty quickly.
Okay, so this is where Samay's story takes this really unexpected and honestly fascinating turn. March 2020, COVID-19 hits.
Right, the world shuts down.
Live entertainment just stops globally. And for Samay, this thing that could have ended his career, It became this massive, unexpected opportunity.
It's incredible, isn't it? Thinking how many artists had to pivot so drastically then. He couldn't perform live, obviously, and apparently it was established comedian Tanmay Bhatt who suggested YouTube.
Oh.
So Samay turned to YouTube, started streaming. Not just games, though, but this specific passion he'd had since childhood, chess. Learned it from his grandfather.
And what happened next was just a phenomenon.
Completely. His YouTube channel just exploded, went from like 6,000 subscribers to over 720,000 in about 18 months.
Whoa.
Yeah, racking up something like 169 million views in that time. But the real phenomenon wasn't just the numbers, right? It was how he did it.
Right. He basically birthed a whole new content genre in India, making this 1,500-year-old game the center of a digital pop culture movement. It's wild.
Totally wild. And the genius, wasn't teaching chess strategy. It was creating this new form of parasocial entertainment.
Parasocial. Explain that a bit.
Well, the game was often just the backdrop, right? The real product was the community, the feeling of just hanging out. His streams were described as chaotic yet captivating.
Okay.
Sessions where he and his friends would just crack jokes, goof around. They transformed what many see as a dull, boring sport into something that felt like a party.
And that resonated hugely with a young audience stuck at home dealing with lockdown loneliness. I remember reading that quote from a fan, "Samay streams are the only times I didn't feel like shit."
Exactly. That captures it perfectly. And his collaboration strategy, a masterstroke.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Initially, he brought in fellow comedians, Biswa Kalyan Rath, Abhishek Abhimanyu. They drew in their fan bases.
Smart.
But the real turning point, the game changer, was engaging the actual chess world.
Right, that's when it got really interesting.
Yeah. Started with popular chess YouTuber Antonio Radic, a gadmater, then Indian grandmaster Vidit Gujrathi, that created this powerful synergy, comedy meets chess.
And then came the big guns.
Oh, yeah. Soon, you had actual chess royalty showing up. Former world champion Viswanathan Anand.
Viswanathan?
Yep. Reigning world champ Magnus Carlsen, Judith Polgar, Anish Yuri, all appearing on his channel. It demystified them, showed this humorous side you rarely see.
So he wasn't just streaming, he was actually impacting the game in India.
Massively. Prominent figures in chess, GMs, international masters, they openly said Samay was instrumental in popularizing chess in India.
Wow.
Vidit Gujrathi even credited Samay for his own successful jump to YouTube streaming.
It's incredible.
It is. Samay didn't just stream a game. He hosted this, virtual common room, complete with its own subreddit, a Discord server, fulfilling that deep need for connection during isolation.
So this streaming success, it really cemented him as a social media entertainer, way beyond just stand-up.
Absolutely. It was a whole new dimension.
Okay, so after this meteoric rise, this pivot to chess and community building, how did his comedic identity evolve? Because his fame grew and his style solidified into something often called, unhinged.
Yeah, unhinged, dark, sharp, witty, those words come up a lot. While his early stand-up was more observational, self-deprecating, his post-fame identity became really synonymous with improv and that confrontational art form, the roast. You saw it in his show India's Got Latent, and those battles against Rohan Joshi on Netflix's Comedy Premium League.
But there's this fascinating paradox there, isn't there?
There absolutely is, because he's praised for being genuine and relatable, talking to celebs and fans like they're just friends.
Yeah.
Yet, in this really striking moment of self-awareness from a 2024 show, he broke the fourth wall. He told the audience, "Jo bhi ek ganta membat tenkari, main asa admi nahi hu."
Which means that...
whatever I spoke for the last 1 hour, I am not this kind of person. He actually described his jokes as cheat codes in a game to make people laugh and earn money.
Wow. That's quite a confession. But paradoxically, maybe that strengthens his authenticity.
I think it does. By letting the audience in on the secret, the persona, he creates this deeper perceived intimacy. Fans become insiders who get the game.
And that explains the fierce loyalty of his fan base, which critics sometimes label, maybe unfairly, an incel fan base, and why they get so defensive.
Exactly. Those cheeky insider remarks he made outside the Supreme Court in 2025, like, "I support Mohak Mangal," that was him directly activating that dynamic, playing the game.
So if we connect this back to his comedic style, what are the key elements that really clicked with his audience?
Well, definitely the self-deprecation and vulnerability. That's huge. Joking about the abandoned engineering degree, the insecurities.
The social anxiety stuff from early on.
Yeah, that's still a cornerstone.
And it's all delivered, of course, with the peculiar way of speaking and remarkable energy. Sources say he makes people laugh before the punchline even lands.
True. But what really sets him apart, I think, especially from contemporaries who focus on punching up, is the confrontational humor.
Yeah, the punching down aspect.
Right. Sources describe him as unabashedly willing to punch down, actively provoking, and that combination, relatable vulnerability plus this rebellious anti-establishment thing, it proved really potent for a generation maybe feeling displaced, defiant.
Makes sense.
Then there's the irreverence, the dark humor. He often revels in breaking taboos, going into edgy territory. That creates this insider bond with fans who like that dank humor, the shock value.
And the spontaneity, right? That off-the-cuff, unfiltered vibe.
Totally. Reacting in real time gives his performances this unpredictable energy. Audiences feel like they're in on it, like co-conspirators.
He also grounds the comedy in shared experiences, doesn't he? Like engineering college absurdities, middle-class life.
Yeah, and peppers it with internet memes, Hindi slang, pop culture nods. Creates a real in-group feeling, super relatable for his core audience.
Plus, uniquely, he blends it all with gaming and music. It's interactive. Viewers feel like they're part of this bigger Samay Raina and Friends universe.
And that brings up another key theme, especially later on, his critique of extreme political correctness.
Right. The rebellion against sensitivity.
Yeah, after facing backlash, he actually doubled down. Said society should stop being so sensitive. He even satirized it in a 2025 rap music video cameo. That stance, according to our sources, really resonates with fans who believe comedy shouldn't have any sacred cows.
Okay, so by 2024, his ambitions get even bigger. He sets out to merge the streaming world and the stage world with India's Got Latent IGL.
Right. Launched June 14th, 2024. It was this satirical talent show, kind of inspired by things like Kill Tony and Got Talent.
Blending bizarre talents with these no-holds-barred roast sessions, led by Samay and his influencer friends.
And it even had this gamified scoring system, remember? Performers rated themselves and won if their rating matched the judge's average. Quirky stuff.
IGL quickly became a huge YouTube hit.
Yeah.
Defined by that generous roast content and intense dark humor.
Providing, as one source put it, trivial comedy which does not necessarily have a deep meaning. But it got millions of views per episode, sold out live recordings.
He even launched an IGL mobile app, right, for uncensored bonus content.
Yeah, and it apparently topped the App Store charts, tapped right into that demand for edgier, uncensored stuff. Attracted youth-focused brands, too.
So a massive success. But it sounds like the very things that made it a viral hit also held the seeds of its downfall.
Precisely. That no-filter style meant episodes, especially those members-only uncut versions, had extremely NSFW jokes, profanity, just merciless roasting.
Fans loved him pushing the envelope.
But Samay himself admitted he was experimenting, seeing how far he could take the format, that balancing act, while it was about to face the ultimate test.
And that test arrived in early 2025.
Yeah.
What was the specific spark? The tipping point that caused such a major uproar?
The initial spark, the one that really ignited things, was a joke during a bonus IGL episode. February 10th, 2025. Guest judge Ranveer Allahbadia, beer of biceps.
Yeah.
He posed this question to a contestant. Would you rather watch your parents have sex every day for the rest of your life or join in once to make it stop forever?
Oof. Yeah, I remember that. That remark, as our sources clearly state, was widely condemned. Obscene, vulgar.
Triggered a massive public backlash. Condemnation from political leaders, calls for a ban from industry bodies like the All Indian Sun Workers Association, AICWA.
And multiple FIRs, right?
Yep.
Police investigation started.
Yep. Filed against Samay Allabadia, other channelists. In Maharashtra, in Assam, it got serious legally very quickly.
And then it escalated further with the disability mockery controversy.
Exactly. That came next. An NGO, Cure SMA Foundation, filed a petition in the Supreme Court. They flag instances where Samay allegedly made offensive, denigrating, and dehumanizing remarks about people with disabilities.
Including mocking the high cost of that life-saving injection for a baby with SMA.
Yeah, the 16 crore injection, and making fun of a blind, cross-eyed person. The Supreme Court, as reported, took it very seriously, called the conduct damaging, demoralizing.
And made that point about Article 21, the right to dignity, trumping Article 19, freedom of speech, in these cases.
Major statement from the court.
And looking at the sources, these weren't just isolated incidents on the show, were they? There seemed to have been a broader pattern.
It seems so. Other things mentioned include a contestant joking about Deepika Padukone's depression,
Right.
derogatory, misogynistic remarks aimed at women, including Urfi Javed, Samay himself calling Kusha Kapila a kuya, a bitch, during a roast, even racist comments about people from Arunachal Pradesh.
So you can imagine the reaction. A really complex, layered public and media response. A fierce debate sparked.
Absolutely. On one side, you had the case for justified outrage.
Right. The legal actions weren't just about vague offense. They were based on specific documented instances of harmful language.
Critics argued the disability jokes violated the fundamental right to dignity, perpetuated harmful stereotypes, the remarks against women normalized abusive behavior.
And the lack of age gating on YouTube meant minors could see it, raising questions about moral responsibility.
Definitely. But then you have the other side of the argument.
The defense.
Yeah. Samay's defense centered on free speech and accusations of, disproportionate cancel culture.
Okay.
Fellow comedian Parni Singh defended him, noting his style's popularity with Gen Z. Indian-American comedian Akash Singh framed it as a battle for free speech against morons easily offended.
And crucially, those visually impaired comedians who are actually on IGL.
Pabia Shah and Kushal Hanushali, yes, they publicly thanked Samay. They argued the show portrayed disabled people not as objects of pity, but as goofy and bakshod and normal. Pushing boundaries, yes, but also giving them a mainstream platform.
That's a significant counterpoint.
It is. Some also argued the backlash was politically weaponized, used for censorship. And for defenders, one crass joke, however bad, shouldn't mean erasing an entire show, especially since the worst bit was in a members-only episode.
So ultimately, what this controversy really highlights is this collision, isn't it, between Samay's self-styled anti-cancel culture thing and the real-world power of organized civil society, state institutions.
Exactly. He wasn't held accountable by the woke mob he often made fun of, but by a disability rights NGO using constitutional law and by mainstream moral outrage over that joke about parents.
It kind of exposed the central premise of his brand as maybe a fallacy.
You could argue that. The consequences were definitely swift and severe. Legally summoned before the Supreme Court, the National Commission for Women, submitted formal written apologies, assured sensitivity.
And professionally.
Removed all the India's Got Latent episodes, hundreds of millions of views, gone. Admitted his Canada tour did not go well.
And the personal toll must have been immense.
Sources say it was. Samay confessed, "My mental state is not well." A friend described him as a broken man, depressed, sad, scared.
So in the immediate aftermath, advertisers got spooked.
Oh yeah, rattled. A brand deal with an energy drink. Canceled. Myntra, the apparel giant, pulled a planned Valentine's Day collab, sent a chill through the influencer marketing world. Endorsement rates reportedly dropped.
So it's like a complete disaster for his brand then, right? End of the story.
Well, not quite. The long-term impact on his brand value has been more nuanced.
Oh, yeah, so...
While, yeah, mainstream family-friendly brands were alienated, a different class of advertisers actually saw an opportunity.
Really?
Yeah. His core audience metrics, subscriber counts, engagement rates, they stayed remarkably resilient, even grew in some cases.
That's fascinating. So who saw an opportunity?
Marketing experts noted that for challenger brands, digital native companies targeting youth, partnering with Samay Raina now represented a high-visibility, low-clutter opportunity. They were buying into culture, chaos, and community heat.
Huh. So embracing the controversy almost.
Kind of. His paid collaboration with Noor soon after suggests some brands are willing to take that calculated risk.
So his comeback strategy is as unconventional as his comedy.
It really is. It's not a typical redemption arc, trying to win back general public trust. It's more like a calculated doubling down on his persona for that risk-tolerant niche audience.
How did that play out?
Well, the first sign was the quiet revival of IGL. Months after being taken down, episodes and clips started popping up on a new YouTube channel. India's Got Latent clips.
And people watched.
Racked up hundreds of thousands of subscribers super quickly. Showed there was still strong demand from that loyal fan base.
And his public behavior during the legal stuff reinforced that dual approach, didn't it?
Exactly. Contrite inside the courtroom, but witty and defiant outside. Signaling to his core fans that the game was still on with those cheeky remarks like, "Wahin kahenj na, aapko tori kahenj." We'll say it there, not to you. And I support Mohak Mangal.
So to sum it up, the 2025 controversy didn't really cancel Samay Raina.
No, it seems it crystallized his brand. Stripped away the mainstream appeal, maybe, but forced him into this more defined role. High-risk, high-engagement creator for a fiercely loyal, anti-establishment youth audience.
His comeback isn't about seeking forgiveness from critics.
It's about demonstrating the huge value of his dedicated niche community to a new class of advertisers. His career wasn't ended, it was transformed. emerged arguably more controversial, more volatile, but maybe more durable within its specific ecosystem.
And the road ahead. He's still active.
Very much so. His core craft, stand-up, continues strong. Spent mid-2025 on an international Unfiltered tour, Europe, North America, Australia. Packed venues. Shows his stage appeal survived the YouTube fallout.
And brands.
Slowly, selectively returning, seeing that youth reach. He's still a trailblazer, merging comedy with internet subcultures, creating viral content, sparking national conversations on creative limits.
Like that media outlet said, the audience has largely stayed loyal.
Seems that way.
So after this whole deep dive into Samay Raina's journey, what really stands out most to you?
I think his story is just such a microcosm of modern digital entertainment, isn't it? Blurring those lines, comedian, gamer, influencer, in ways we haven't really seen before.
Yeah. He carved out this totally unique space in Indian comedy. Fearless innovation, willingness to be the guy who went there.
Whether there was playing chess with Vishyanand or making a joke that, well, alarmed the entire establishment.
His journey constantly highlights that eternal tension, doesn't it? Creative freedom versus social responsibility.
Absolutely. The outrage was real. It was rooted in genuine offense. But the sheer quantum of it, the scale, it did raise questions about proportionality. It makes you think, how do we balance artistic expression with societal norms? Especially when humor pushes those boundaries so hard.
Indeed. And the saga leaves us wondering, really, what will the irrepressible Samay do next? And where will that ever-shifting line of comedy be drawn in the coming years?
It's a really compelling chapter in the evolving story of Indian stand-up. Proves that sometimes the laughter comes with a wince.
But the conversation is definitely far from over.